Right, so we'll take a look at this. This is a review of the Bosch Logixx 8 Vario Perfect washing machine, model number was 32461 GB / whatever you want. We'll take a look at what it has. So it has an 8kg drum. It has an eco silence drive. Basically, an eco silence drive means that there are no brushes. It has an inverter motor. It has a 10-year warranty. And makes a vastly reduced noise. It also has this 8kg drum, and as you can see, this has the Fabricare drum with these little holes which reduce the amount of pulling of the fibres, as well as the shaped things in the drum to help with washing whilst taking care of your fabrics. It also has a 1600 spin speed, which gives it an A rating, and while we're on of ratings, it's got an A wash rating and an A+++ energy rating. Right, we'll take a look at the programs. Right, take a long look at the top. You've got your usual suspects there. So we've got cottons, and you can have that with a pre-wash. You've got easy cares, and again you have it with a pre-wash. Then you've got your mixed load cycle, which will take just an hour to complete. Then you've got your delicate and silk, your wool, separate rinse and spin, separate spin, drain, gentle spin, and then the super quick 15, which will wash 2 kilograms of lightly soiled laundry in 15 minutes, or 20 minutes at 40 degrees. You've also got the sensitive cycle. Again, this is available to 60 degrees. Oddly enough, you put Eco Perfect on, which I'll go into in a second, it will heat up to 75 degrees. The sensitive cycle is actually more of a mixed cycle, so it's rated primarily on the cotton cycle, with the additional water of the wash and rinse cycles to ensure that all detergent residue is removed from the clothes and all detergent is sufficiently dissolved. So we move on to the sports cycle. This doesn't use a fabric softened cycle, and is made for your Gore-Tex and any waterproof garments that you'll have. So this also includes coats as well, and googles and stuff like that. Washes at 40 degrees maximum, with a very short 800 spin, and that way you don't get any crease clothes, and takes care of your waterproof garments. The dark cycle is made for a half load of easy cares and cottons mixed, but primarily runs off an easy care cycle. The wash phase is shorter, but there's 3 rinse cycles, which are much longer rinse cycles to ensure that all detergent residue is taken out of your darks. The wash has also got something called Vario Perfect. Bosch Vario Perfect. These 2 buttons up the top here are your Vario Perfect. Essentially, Speed Perfect, when selected, will drop the wash time to just 1 hour, but will increase the water levels of your wash and your rinse. It has a shorter spin, and overall you can only wash 5 kilograms of laundry. It's made primarily actually more for everyday stuff that you wear with everyday just dust, etc. so everything is light soiled. Your Eco Perfect washes at a lower temperature than the actual stated temperature of 60 degrees or 40 degrees. About 60 is about 45 degrees and 40 will wash at 35 degrees. But it will wash at a longer set wash setting. It will also only do 2 rinses as opposed to 3 and extend those rinses to ensure that the water is efficiently used. And then you got none of the options, which will run a standard 40 or 60 or 90 whatever degree cycle with 3 rinses and an average amount of water. So it's up to you what you do. You've also got reduced ironing, which will reduce the spin speed, but not only that, the final spin cycle is split up into stages with tumbles to make sure there's a vastly reduced amount of creases in your laundry at the end of the cycle. Cycle Plus will add on an extra rinse and will up the wash and rinse levels of the cycle, which is great if you have sensitive skin or if you're washing something bulky, such as a big duvet spread, for example. It's also great if you're washing bedding as well, as the machine will undersense the load. So we'll move on to that undersense. It also has something called active water, which basically means that the washing machine will sense how much water is being absorbed during the first few minutes of the cycle to determine the load size of what's been actually put in. This will then also adjust the amount of time needed for the cycle. So, let's say for example you put in just 1 towel, right? It will actually sense down from the actual time there of 2 hours 45 to around 1 hour 50. It will also use reduced amount of water in the rinse cycles to save water. But if you load it up completely, let's say, then the machine will run at the full 2 hours 45 stated cycle. Let's put something else to this. Bosch have also realised that you may overload the cycle permitted load size, such as on the Speed Perfect, which will only take 5 kilos, the mixed cycle, which will take just 3.5 kilos, and the dark cycle, which will also only take 3.5 kilos, as well as the sportswear, which only takes 2 kilos, and the delicates as well, which only takes 2 kilos. All of these cycles will add on extra time to the cycle if you put more washing in than what is stated. It will also up the rinse levels than normal and add on wash time. Very good thinking, that is, Bosch. It's the first manufacturer I've come across that does this, and I'm sure there's 1 or 2 others out there that have also thought this. But cheaper brands such as Hotpoint, LG and Samsung do not do this. So it's worth a thought when buying a washing machine like this, that actually buying a more expensive washing machine will accommodate bigger load sizes than what's permitted. Right, that in hand, we'll now take a look what else it's also got. So we'll turn it off. Right, down at the bottom we've also got a coin trap which can be cleaned out, and there is also a little hose here which you can take out and drain the water. That's fine, except the actual hose isn't low enough, so there's still always a little bit of water even when you unscrew at the bottom. Not so bad though, but there's a little lip there, so you can put a little plate or something to catch that little bit of last water, and that works, so it's fine that way. We'll also take a look at the drawer as well. I know it seems a bit petty, the fact that it's got a drawer. Most washing machines do. But this has a big pre-wash, a massive main wash, and a big enough softener. Now if we just take a look down here right now, you'll see that water's run down the door. See? And that's because this has a self-cleaning door. You see? Right here. What this basically does is when it fills up through the pre-wash section of the drawer, all the water runs down here and it runs down the door to keep it, well, relatively clean. Obviously it doesn't do around the top. As you can see here, there's a bit of build-up of fluff or lint, whatever you want to call it. It's also got instant unlocking, and while it may not really be in the actual manual guide, it does also have a child lock function, and you can adjust the settings for the beeper, which again are not very clear in the user instruction manuals. So many people have found out. Other than that, apart from his faults of the instruction manual not being clear, and that if you do leave the door open whilst you open this drawer, water will fall onto the floor. Overall, it's an excellent piece of kit. It also seems very well built, very well made, and when it's spinning and washing, etc., the suspension is very, very tough. So it can take a lot of give and not create that much noise. But that's also because the sides also have special design on it to exclude all that excess vibration. Although I have found that vibration seems to go downstairs into the room below and to the walls. So it works, it just puts the vibration everywhere else. Right, so now what we'll do is we'll switch it on and actually demonstrate this. So we'll select the 60-degree program. You put on Aqua Plus. I like Aqua Plus. I like the extra water. Stick in some fabric softener, a bit of fairy, and we'll turn it on. We're also going to stick in 60ml of fairy. Now, on the other machines that I've also used, such as Hotpoint, LG and Samsung, I have to stick double this amount in for the same type of cycle. So it's also worth noting that a more expensive machine may be more expensive to buy, but considering how much powder costs over the lifespan of the machine, you may actually end up saving more money than buying a cheaper machine. Right, so I'll leave that there then. My full review of the Bosch Logixx washing machine. I hope you enjoyed this, and with regards to all the other models such as the WAS 28 and the 24, which is the 14 and 1200 spin respectively, they should be just as good.